Have you ever eaten a Marionberry? If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you probably have. But today, I am making Marionberry pies. Each year in our little community in Arizona, on Valentine's, we have a pie social. And this year, look at that beautiful pie. I made decorations with the crust. And it's filled to the brim with Marionberries. And I'm going to show you how to make them. But first, let's talk about Marionberries. Marionberries are a hybrid of two different blackberries, and they made them in Oregon. And it is the state pie. You can actually grow them zones 6 through 9, and it is the king of blackberries. So I have two different bowls. They have about 8 cups of the Marionberries in there, and they are absolutely huge. I'm just sprinkling some cane sugar, some organic cane sugar on there. Oh, not even a half a cup. And the berries are still a little bit frozen, and I'm also going to sprinkle some homemade vanilla on top of those too. I'm not really measuring that part. And I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to just mix that up some. And then I'm going to cover them so that they can unthaw just a little bit more before I add anything else to it. And if you love blackberries, you will absolutely love Marionberries. They are from the Pacific Northwest. And I am going to add 1 tablespoon of flour for every cup of Marionberries I have. And I need 1 tablespoon of lemon for each pie. And so I just went out to the lemon trees and I picked one, and I'm just going to squeeze it so that I get 1 tablespoon for each pie. So let's first put the lemon juice on there, and you can see that they are unthawing. And I'm going to mix those up, of course, before I put the flour on, so it's all incorporated. And they just have a beautiful color. When they're ripening, at first they're a little red purple, and then they become that dark, deep purple color. And I'm going to just sprinkle all that flour all over it. You want to have it so that it's not, you want it juicy, the pie juicy, but you want that juice thick. How big do you make your pie? Your crust. You want to go out 1 inch around the pan that you're using. If you have a deep dish, you might want to go 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And so I made up enough dough to do both pies. So this dough that you're seeing right there, I'm actually going to end up cutting into 4 pieces. I like to get some flour on the outside of it, kind of work it, kind of firm it up a little bit. If you're making a lot of pies, you might cut it up first and then just put some of it in the refrigerator until you're ready for each part of it. And you can see how I tap it. Any place I cut, I put a little flour in there just so it doesn't get sticky on your hands and you can work with it easier. I've just found that just works well for me. You don't want to work your pie crust too much. It gets it tougher so it's not as flaky, and one of the great things about pie crust is how flaky it is. There's a lot of different recipes that you can use. Just pick your favorite. I like to put flour on my rolling pin. And I'm just going to work it a little bit, even pressure, not too hard. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to spread that flour around, put a little flour on top so it doesn't stick to my rolling pin. And then I'm just going to work it out so it goes to the outside of that circle. If you need more flour, just sprinkle a little bit of flour on there. So now I'm going to put the Marionberries in there. I like to pile them up because as they cook, they do flatten down some. And if you don't put enough berries in your pie, when you go to cut it, it looks like you've skimped. And why not just pile it up in there? Look at those beautiful berries. You can see once that sugar is starting to work, you can see that it's a little more red. This is a trick. I just roll that pie crust around my rolling pin. I lift it up, and then I can just roll it across. Simple as pie. Simple as pie. That's funny. I like to tuck my crust underneath. Some people cut it. I like to use it. These are just some little presses. Because it's a Valentine's pie social, I am using my hearts. though I am going to decorate it. There's 2 egg yolks. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of kosher salt. And I'm going to do a tablespoon of cold water. I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to coat the top of my pie because I'm going to decorate the top of it. And I want everything to stay where I want it. So I'm just going to take a pastry brush and I'm going to go all over it. Once it's coated, that's going in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes so that it really dries. In the meantime, I'm going to make some designs. Now I have a couple different leaf cookie cutters. I have a lot of cookie cutters. But today, since it's Marionberries, I thought I'd add some leaves, some flowers, just fun, you know. You can decorate it however you want to. And I like to take a knife and put the veins into the leaves. You don't have to do that, but it's just something I like to do. And I'm going to hand cut the petals. And each of the flowers will have 5 petals, and I'm going to put some little dough balls in the center. And I'm just going to work it. So it's out of the refrigerator, the first one. I'm just going to coat it in just sections as I work. It's easy to pick it up with a knife, your pieces of dough. I put a little bit of that egg mixture. And you can make your leaves, your flowers, 3-dimensional. They'll stay there. And when I get all the way done, I will put it back in the refrigerator for 15 minutes so that it dries, it hardens a little bit so that everything will stay exactly where I put it. And you can see I'm just having fun, actually. I'm just goofing around, playing around, adding things. So you can see the different flowers. I did slice some vent holes through, some slices through, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of that egg wash. Do you have to? Not on top? No. I just happen to like it. So it's going to go in the oven at first 450 degrees. I don't like aluminum foil touching my food, so that's parchment paper down first. Then I'm going to lay the aluminum foil, and it's going to stay on the pies for a while. So my oven is at 450 degrees for 15 minutes. Then I moved it so it's 350 degrees, and I cooked the pies until the inside temperature was 200 degrees, which was about an hour. And there's my pies out. I'll let them cool, and then I'll wrap them up, and they will go up for auction tomorrow at the Pie Social. So experiment and make some beautiful pies. I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.